On these Overreaction Mondays, we've been doing something that's now become a full-time segment, it feels like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where we break down the top 5 headlines coming out of the week of NFL Sunday football, and we call it the first 15. Now, we put a 15-minute clock on the screen. I don't know if you know this, D, but we put a 15 because it's like 15 minutes is what we're hoping it would take.
Sure.
First 15, though, is indicative of the first 15 plays that are scripted for an offense. So this is basically our scripted portion of the show. This is the first 15. Then we'll react to how the stories go. It's driven by Rand, but this has become a real thing, Darius J. Buck.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously do great with scripted things, so we've been nailing it right on this 15-minute mark every week, so hopefully we stick to it.
Yeah, that's the thing is we have the blocks, just every word is in there. And that's why whenever you say, hey, why don't you go ahead and start that 15, we know that we're going to get this accomplished. Let's start the 15-minute clock, and let's go to number 5 headline coming out of the weekend. Was Herbert the right pick all along? You know, you go back to that draft, obviously Tua got picked 4, Herbert gets picked 5. Who goes number 1 overall? Joe Burrow. And after what we just saw from Justin Herbert and what we're expecting from his entire career, how he handles himself off the field, how he's built, how he's been able to kind of navigate so many different transitional periods of such a young career already with different offense coordinators, different buildings, you name it. Now he's got Harbaugh, and Harbaugh might make this guy become GOAT. There's a chance Justin Herbert has greatest of all time conversation whenever it's all said and done, 10, 15 years, because of how incredibly athletic he has been. He leads another comeback for the Chargers against the Miami Dolphins. Let's go to the third quarter. Finds his boy Ladd McConkey. They will have a big one later in the game, but they seemingly on the same page. He extends the play, rolls to his right, drops an absolute dime, D-Butt, before he hits Kamani Vital. This man out of Troy, he was a third-team All-American 2 years ago, becomes a sensation for this Los Angeles Chargers team. And once again, Justin Herbert's doing it all. This guy's a magic man. This guy's a It's not just deep shots and layups. He's also hitting the intermediate shots. 10 to 20 yards, he has more yards than anybody else in the NFL. So whenever you talk about methodically breaking down a defense, Justin Herbert's doing it all. And then let's go late to the game. Tua answers. Tua, fourth quarter, 50-some seconds left. Top play. Gotta put it on Sports Center. Darren Waller, always open whenever he's a Miami Dolphin. Tua Tagovailoa has his moment. Holy hell, Tua Tagovailoa just drove back on Justin Herbert. I was the right pick all along. This is gonna be a great day to be a Miami Dolphin. Holy hell. Well, Nyheim Hines got a kickoff return. He took that thing out. And then all of a sudden, Justin Herbert had the opportunity to do a play that's gonna be etched in Harbaugh's memory forever.
That play will be burned in my mind until they throw dirt over top of me. Justin Herbert back to throw. Defender wrapped around him. Just mighty man it. Ladd McConkey. Ladd does his stop, fly by, and starts getting that necessary yardage. And here comes Zion Johnson flying ahead of Ladd. Gets that block shielded, and there's another 20. Yeah, I'm going to remember that play. So they throw dirt over top of me. That's how great I feel about that.
Harbaugh says, hey, when they got that mahogany and then they put the dirt and then I no longer got life and soul and breath, I'm going to remember that one and talk about that one because this could be season-defining play for this Chargers team. If they were to win this game against the Miami Dolphins, which is so damn improbable, I actually got some stats about how the probability was before that play, during that play, and after that play on win percentages. And I'll be honest, if I was better at reading what the hell these stats meant and how it was actually anywhere near not bullshit, I would have certainly said it. But nonetheless, that was improbable. That was something that wasn't supposed to happen. And instead, they come together. And you heard Harbaugh talk about Zion Johnson, extra block, talking about the culture.
Sure.
Ladd McConkey doing his thing. Mighty man Herbert doing his thing. And then it leads to Cameron Dicker. And this man, has he missed? No, he hasn't. He'd make this 14 of 14 on the year. They're 4-2. There were some times earlier in the season where we thought maybe this Harbaugh-Herbert team was going to be crap. Maybe they were going to be shite. Maybe this all build-up that we're talking about, $300, $400 million in a brand-new practice facility out there in Los Angeles, maybe it was all a waste of money. Maybe this team is going to be the same old Chargers every single time. And now beating up on the Dolphins with less than 35 seconds left in the game? We're saying, was Herbert the number 1 overall pick all along? Is this the team that's going to go on a run? We shall see in an AFC that is seemingly wide open, except for at the very tippy top. D-Butch, you've been on the Chargers for a few years now because you love Justin Herbert. What have you seen from him this season or just in this game that makes you believe maybe the Chargers can win the whole damn thing? And their Chargers faithful would obviously love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been since he's been in the league, honestly. And this is had a part of that stat up there in the graphic, 18 game-winning drives only behind Patrick Mahomes since coming into the league. So he's never been an issue. You kind of mentioned it, all the different offensive coordinators, the different head coaches. We know that Jim Harbaugh is a winner. He builds winners wherever he goes, so that he's put the right team around him, the right play callers. Everything's kind of going right now. As far as the question if he was the right pick, it's kind of revisionist history at this point. Joe Burrow, obviously, he's a Heisman winner. He was a no-brainer, number one pick, been to a Super Bowl already, has playoff wins. Tua, look, a lot of the league was tanking for Tua at one point. Now, he did have the major hip injury that caused some concerns and questions, but Herbert has been doing everything right since coming into the league, but he's still got to win in the playoffs, just like Tua does. So I'll hold off on that. Is he the right pick? But he's been doing everything right this year so far.
Certainly gave us an opportunity to say it and rub it in Gumpy's face. And that is the only reason why we did this. Now, let's go to, because he hates it. Oh, everybody's a genius now. Oh, okay. Because he says pasta and water helps him with concussions, now all of a sudden everybody would have drafted Herbert. Okay, yeah, it's a Dolphins' fault. Okay, bunch of knobs. Losing.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
Who went number 2 that draft?
Chase.
Yeah, Chase Young.
And then Okudah.
Yep.
And then Tua. And then Justin Herbert. Joe Burrow.
Okay, yeah.
Chase. Okudah. Tua. Herbert. And Tom Telesco, who's general manager of the Chargers, said, whoever the Dolphins pick's cool with us.
Yep.
We're just going with the other guy.
Yeah, that was kind of.
But we wanted Herbert all along. Is what he kind of said. But everybody did kind of have Tua slotted there. Joey Burrow obviously has the year that he has down there at LSU, and he cements himself as the Ohio kid. Yep. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. Then there was a little chatter. Maybe, now that we know the business a little bit better, that was potentially from the agents of Tua and Herbert, maybe. I don't want to put it on anybody. Saying he's going to say no. He won't get. He will turn down the Cincinnati Bengals if they were to draft him number 1 overall. Do you remember that entire conversation?
Remember, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we were even like, what if this guy? Because what the Bengals were.
Looking back on it.
Whoa.
That's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and we will talk about them later. The Cincinnati Bengals aren't in a great spot, but I do appreciate the fact that Joe Flacco got hot late.
He did.
And Jamar Chase started doing his damn thing. It was fun to watch. They're exciting. They're explosive. Is it a winning brand of football? We shall see. We talk about it. Was he the right pick all along? Tua obviously gets drafted to the Miami Dolphins, and he kind of, go ahead, 5 and 6?
Yeah.
Sorry, 5 and 6. Tua gets drafted 1 ahead of Justin Herbert. Yikes, that's on me. Should have known that exact number there going in. But nonetheless, so that leads to something we like to call number 4 headline of the weekend, tough scenes.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
We literally just talked about Tua, okay? Tua had that game winner. Less than a minute left.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Get a stop, defense.
Get a stop.
Get a stop.
Get a stop. Tua has game-winning drive in final minute of fourth quarter against Justin Herbert. Could be narrative. Could be story. That could be number 5.
It could be.
That'd be number 5.
Tua was the right pick.
Oh, yeah. Tua was right all along.
Yeah.
Damn.
All along. That could have been that entire thing. But instead, Herbert, Ladd, Zion Johnson, Cameron Dicker, the whole team, we hear it, we see it. And then that leads to a post game that is not a positive one about a last-minute game-winning touchdown drive. Instead, it's about, hey, what's the state of the culture? And Tua, I don't know if this was prepared or not, I think, personally, decided to utilize this as a time to speak to his teammates. Like coaches talk to their locker room through the media sometimes. They'll get messages through the media to their players. Well, my guys know that they're not going to England to see Paris. That's a message through the media that they're hoping gets to the players. Our offense, obviously, wasn't as together. That's a message they're trying to get to the players. Trying to set the tone maybe before the first team meeting. Like, hey, here's this. It's been happening since the beginning of time. I think Tua tried to do that through the media to talk to his team and to his locker room. Just what he chose to say, everybody's saying, his worst thing you could probably say is the quarterback, the leader of the team.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts with the leadership in helping articulate that for the guys, and then what we're expecting out of the guys, right? We're expecting this. Are we getting that? Are we not getting that? We have guys showing up to player-only meetings late, guys not showing up to player-only meetings. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Do we have to make this mandatory? Do we not have to make this mandatory? So it's a lot of things of that nature that we got to get cleaned up, and it starts with the little things like that.
So I think Tua, in his eyes and his mind, are probably trying to be a good quarterback for this team. And then things aren't happening, and he decides to kind of air his teammates out through the media. Every ex-player has spoken about this and said, this is a terrible decision.
Yeah.
This is not how you should go about doing this, especially if you're not a winning program and have a winning thing go on. He owned up to throwing 3 interceptions, but that's a part of it. He did say we whenever he said team leadership, so he's putting himself in there saying we got to do a better job. So he does take a little bit of accountability, but throwing your teammates under the bus for things that nobody even knows that your teammates are doing yet.
Yeah.
You kind of present a situation and then say, but in this situation, they're doing terrible things. It's just not a good thing in the locker room is what everybody has been saying, basically.
Yeah, and that's very, very brave of you trying to get into his brain and try to think what he's thinking.
Dude, pasta, pizza, and water?
Yeah.
I mean, that's in his brain, right?
You know.
Yeah.
Brain.
Every team is different, and some people may be confused out there with the difference between like players only meetings, those kind of come to Jesus moment, kind of like a player led meeting. So in my experience, our players only meetings during the season was like the units, like defensive unit, like back 7, no defensive line. But after Friday, we get done with practice and we go over 15, 20 play script maybe of what the team likes to do. And we go over our communications, down left, hey, nickel left, nickel right, all those different things. I'm sure offenses do similar things. So those are the things that he's talking about, I would assume players not showing up to, and the only people that can police that are the players. The best teams that you've been on, I would guarantee the players kind of police the room. So I don't know what his point was, kind of getting that out there, but I would say less talking from Tua would be better going forward, in my opinion.
It does seem like every time we hear something from the Dolphins, we find something and go, this team is stupid.
Yeah.
This team is not run. You're South Florida boy. Gumpy, obviously, you've been riding this alongside of him. McDaniel, his little tag on his shoe last week.
Yeah, that should have been the coup de grace.
But once again, minute left, game-winning drive.
Yeah.
Against the Chargers, which everybody has. They had that. And then all of a sudden, Mighty Man does his thing. That wasn't the only tough scene. Obviously, we all woke up with it yesterday. And to London, we don't like to do this often to England because, a lot of stuff. But we would like to apologize for that game.
Yeah.
Okay, that game was
hand up.
That was tough. Yeah, it's on us to get for you guys having that one. And I think there's been a lot of bad games. Hembo sent me a stat though that basically said that was by far the worst one. I mean, the 20 combined first downs in yesterday's London game were 7 fewer than any international game in NFL history. Oh. This was by far the worst one of all time. So we'd like to say, hey, Governor, sorry about it. But on that note, a ridiculous thing happened right before half that you guys won't often get to see. Right before half, people were saying it's a tough scene. Aaron Glenn, obviously first-year head coach, former defensive coordinator from the Detroit Lions, doesn't normally have to deal with all the situational shit on the defensive side of the ball. Probably has somebody in his game situation camp that is in his ear, has his ear. No timeouts. Obviously, it starts with like 20-some seconds on the clock. That's 4th and 1. Okay, so this is a tough situation for a team to be in, okay? Especially if your quarterback at the time was 17 yards he had thrown for. Okay, 17 yards in the half. And at the end of the game would end up with a net negative 10 yards passing. And the reason why it's negative 10 yards is because sacks count against your pass yards. They gave up 9 sacks for negative 55 yards. He only passed for 45 or 47 yards. So you start doing some math, he had negative net. So Aaron Glenn, I think, wasn't 100% confident that they were going to be able to pick up maybe 2 yards to get a first down there on a quick out. Everybody's like, hey, 4th and 1, you only need 1 yard here. There's no timeouts or playing off coverage. Okay, we'll throw a quick out, pick up a first down. Will we? We've thrown for 17 yards this half. Aaron Glenn's trying to figure that out in real time.
Yeah.
It's not really a situation that comes up on a very regular basis because if you give them the ball right there, you pick up 4 or 5 yards, that's a field goal. Mm-hmm. So it's like this could be a real swing. Tough situation, obviously mismanaged. And then Garrett Wilson comes out afterwards and goes, I had no idea what the plan was. And then when I heard what the plan was, I was disappointed. I don't love it. But there was one answer, we think. Like, every team is going to talk about this situation around the league. We do think there was an answer.
Yeah, they'll show it around the league, but I think it was just a Hail Mary. You get to that point until you're – like, we just saw a first-year head coach kind of learn something in real time. We always hear head coaches say, hey, there is no manual that comes with it, and it's easy for us, especially once the half is over, to say what we got to say. But, yeah, you just got to throw the Hail Mary there, give yourself a chance to get something positive there. But he was like –
But it has to be last play of half.
Got to be last play.
Yeah, that ball's getting snapped
4
3 seconds, 4 seconds, or whatever.
Sure.
And if you wanted to do the out, you would have to do like 6, 5 seconds, so that maybe you get one more play. If you want to get it closer, maybe kick a field goal, get a little bit closer there. But if you drop that or don't complete that, they got to play. They got to play now going the other way. There was a lot going on. Yeah. But I think with how shite the game was, that situation happening and it being the Jets franchise. Just kind of, this is a clown show. Why is this what we would send to London? Kind of rude of us to do this.
It also wasn't even just that last play. Like that whole drive, like Kurt Warner was losing his mind for the entire 2 minutes. It was, yes, the last play or whatever, but the whole drive was a weird situation.
Aaron Glenn was then asked afterwards if Justin Fields was still going to be the quarterback. And he had a little bit of a reaction, about how dumb of a question that was, basically. He has come out since then and said this.
You know what? Here's what, I thought about this a lot last night. I thought about the question that was asked. And when you look at what Justin did, the games that he played, listen, I didn't think he was bad at all. I actually thought he did some pretty good things in those 4 games. In this 5th game, he took a step back, and I'm with you guys 100%. And we can't have that. We have to get better than that. And he knows that. And he knows that better than anyone, So I don't think you just try to bench a player after having one true bad game, because I thought the other games he played fairly well.
Aaron Glenn's got his players back. I think that's what you're hearing there. And I'd like to think that literally right before half, that whole thing, he was just trying to get to the locker room. I think he was just trying to get to the locker room, however the hell we can get to the locker room. Right now, they're going to say the clock's going to run to 0, and we're going to be able to go inside if we don't do anything else. Let's do that. Let's get the hell out of here. This Denver Broncos defense is no joke. I mean, they are on a historic run. Vance Joseph right now is on pace for 85 sacks, their defense, which would crush the record of 72, obviously, which is the previous record. They're averaging 5 sacks per game, and they have a 10-sack lead on the rest of the NFL right now, okay? So this Jets offense, there certainly might be some question marks. And Justin Fields might not be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL at this stage of his career, or maybe ever in his career whenever it comes to, delivering the ball and point guarding and everything like that. But I think this Denver Broncos defense is a defense that will expose you. I think they will expose whether or not you have a good quarterback or a good offense. So I think it's a good kind of thermostat or a kind of judgment, a good comp on how you're going to be. They're going to do that to a lot of teams that don't have great offense.
Oh, yeah, great litmus test, because when you go, it's not just the quarterback. It's the offensive coordinator, it's the offensive line, it's the running backs. Are you going to be able to protect? Because they're going to keep applying pressure, which a couple weeks ago when they came and played the Colts and it came down to that last-second field goal, they blitzed Daniel Jones like 70% of his dropbacks and only sacked him once. So that lets you know how well the Colts are being coached and how well Daniel Jones is playing the quarterback.
On that note, let's go to the number 3 headline show. Oh, we boys, 6 weeks into the season, we see some MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we see some out there. Now, there's a couple omitted, all right, if their team lost.
Sure.
Okay, so if their team lost, we weren't going to put them on here. Okay, and if their team almost got close to losing to Joe Flacco's team, we didn't put them on here.
Wasn't his fault, but I get it.
Either. Okay, so there's a couple quarterbacks that are certainly in the running, especially whenever it comes to the odds if you're betting on them, but their teams didn't win, so we didn't put them up here. There's also a quarterback that's 40-plus years old that is not even on the odds, really. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to win, they're 4-1. They already have their bye. It's going to be a long road. But if they end up 14-3, like whatever the case, if they just continue to do that, Aaron Rodgers' name is definitely going to be up for MVP. Sure. I mean, that's if you want to sprinkle that right now, you could probably get some incredible odds on it. But we're seeing about 6 guys that got some big-time dubs that we're appreciating and respecting their game. Baker Mayfield, let's go to number 6, shall we? This guy's awesome. This guy is awesome. Damn. Everything about him. Stock explodes through his upper body, and all Baker does is get up and say, yup, give me more of that. Give me more. His entire energy has radiated through the entire Tampa Bay area, not just obviously the locker room. They love this dude. I love this dude. And it's been incredible to watch him explode. Top 4 wide receivers out. Who cares? Give me Tej Johnson out of Oregon, D-Budge.
I mean, some people are chanting MVP after this guy scores a touchdown, maybe hit this flip as well. But
sick.
What Baker Mayfield is doing right now, man, anybody that has that Buccaneer shit on, player, coach, training staff, anybody, fans, everybody associated with this team right now is buzzing because of what number 6 is doing at quarterbacks, regardless of who's out there lined up with him. So shout out to him leading his team to a 5-1 start. And all of them have been kind of close games that he had to find a way to win.
At the beginning, he had no tackles. Right at the beginning of the season, had no tackles. Now they got no wide receivers. Well, they do. And Tez hitting that and the Jeez Louise moment of the weekend was him going, man, I only did one. This is Tej Johnson after the game about what was being chanted about.
I'm going to tell y'all a funny story. This is great. When I score and I hear MVP chant, I'm thinking they talking about me. So I asked Shep.
Fair.
I'm like, Shep, they was chanting MVP. He was like, yeah. I was like, I ain't do nothing this year. And then he was like, they talking about Baker, Tez. I was like, well, that explains it. But he is the MVP. The one he got the first down on.
Awesome. Well, that explains it. He is the MVP, though, man. That is incredible stuff. I love their team. I love the culture they have.
Well, and even just like the throws are unbelievable. All this stuff is so good, and he's at the point now, just like the other guys, where like, hey, it doesn't matter who's out there. The 3rd and 14 run is just pure will to win. Yeah, like it doesn't matter what quarterback you are. Like, I don't know who else is making this play. You can say Josh Allen and Mahomes and stuff. I mean, this is ridiculous. Just wanting to win, wanting the first down, just more. I mean, it's a 1-point game right now, and I don't know what down after it came. It was either the next play or a couple plays after. That's what led to the Tez Johnson touchdown. That's just a solo effort, unbelievable. He really should win the MVP. I hope everybody just stays healthy on this list, just because they are all playing great football.
On that note, Baker, we're talking his shit immediately afterwards, understands the moment, been around. I think he's at his best case. Yeah, body language is insane for the rest of the team. Let's talk about another guy who's in the MVP conversation. Drake May. Listen, Drake May is everything that I think Connor had hoped he would be. Connor talked about his greatness last year. They'd be getting their asses beaten. He'd say, hey, we got a guy, though. This quarterback's making 4-5 plays a game that make you say he understands what he's doing. They were talking about his footwork coming out of college. He's going to be inaccurate. He's not going to be. He learned. He figured it out. He's not going to have to face. He's not going to be able to dissect the defenses. He's learned. He's figured it out. Is he going to be tough enough to take those hits? You know, he led North Carolina in rushing and passing one season. Is he going to be able to rush in the NFL? He might be able to take away one of his things. He can. He runs people over. And he's seemingly always jovial. This guy's leadership is like, here we go, boys.
Yeah,
feels like he is here we go, boys type guy, which I didn't know was possible to win with. And then you team that up with Vrabel, and it's like, this is like the perfect match made in heaven up there. You guys got to be absolutely jacked that you have, dare I say it, a more handsome, a more athletic. Is he taller?
I mean,
I don't know who
today,
you compare him to.
Today he's taller.
Is he taller?
Than Mac Jones? Yeah, he is.
No.
You better not even dare
Then Bailey
put Drake May in the
Zappi.
same sentence as Mac Jones.
Height. Just taller.
Just let him finish. Let him finish and let him go where he's going.
Is this guy the 2025 younger generation?
Oh, my God.
More mobile version of Tom fucking Brady?
Whoa.
Is that what's going on in New England right now? He's handsome. Have you seen him?
Oh, yeah.
He's incredibly handsome.
More handsome than Tom.
I don't know.
Well, which Tom are we talking about?
Exactly. We're talking about 24 years old right now.
You'd have to go butt chin, Tom.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. If we were just going to go like, hey, no work done to your body, yeah, Drake May is obviously better. But the other thing about Drake May is like he's already an adult.
12?
You know, he's 23 years old, but he's already married. The king and queen of New England, people are calling the new Mays, and it is unbelievable. Everything he does is great, and like we can talk about him forever. I legitimately could talk about him forever, but something AQ kind of pointed out last week to me, Josh McDaniels coming back has been a huge reason for his success. Just the way the offense goes, it's very smooth. D-Butt said to me before the show, like, Drake May has entered the conversation where when he's throwing the ball and the ball leaves the screen and they got to track it, it doesn't matter. You know it's going to be some sort of good ball, some sort of, right read. Everything he does is perfect. I really don't know how it can get better than this. Winning the Super Bowl, of course, but this is the happiest, and most excited I've been about a football team with a football team since Tom Brady beating the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Obviously, Vrabel back too. He's awesome.
Man.
His dramatics on the sideline, I forgot about how spectacular they are. I guess these refs weren't necessarily on your guys' side down there.
Dude, I don't think it's necessary for the first 15 because this needs to be its own 15. Just about the referees, and it's not really just about this game. It's about the idea that if this referee crew was on a Colts-Bills, huge game deciding who the 1 seed is, this was a pass interference call, and you're going to say
against Stephon Diggs.
Against Stephon Diggs on the second 60-yard touchdown to Pop Douglas, and you're going to say, oh well, where's the flag? This is what it was, and I actually made D-Butt look at it because D-Butt actually knows football, and I'm just a Patriots fan. But D-Butt said, I don't get it. This is the worst call I've ever seen. If you actually watch the all 22, you can't see when the flag is thrown. And both teams had their special teams units on the field. That's not the play. Both teams had their special teams units on the field for the extra point because they already celebrated, the defense already walked off, the offense already walked off, and then they called the pass interference. So I don't know who the crew is. I'm glad that the Patriots won just because I didn't have to come on here today and say, hey, Roger Goodell, there's 7 terrorists that work for the NFL, and they're wearing black and white stripes, and they refereed the game in New Orleans yesterday. This is the play. And for some reason, again, you're not going to see a flag. It's not going to pop up on the broadcast. It's not going to show on the bottom. Touchdown, celebration, incredible play. Look at Drake May, too. In the pocket, oh, yeah, he has bad feet. That matters. Strike! And then a touchdown, but instead it gets called back for a pass interference. So, again, this is more
the pass interference is 10 yards on the field on the sideline. We just showed with Stephon Diggs, just because it's getting him worked up here.
Unbelievable.
Stephon Diggs was 30, 40 yards away from the play. I mean, he is nowhere near the play. And even if he was right on top of the play, people would argue that this right here, you're going to call offensive pass interference right there. Yeah. I don't know if that's the thing. And then the timing of it happening late, you have to think to yourself, wait, how are they working against the Patriots? And then this empowers the Patriots even more, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Vrabel's on the sideline trying to talk to this ref. Nobody's listening. There's a shot of Vrabel's head just going back, mind blown by the officials. And then for them to get a win there, oh, the massholes just, oh, they're against us again. Yeah. Oh, they're against us again. They're trying to hold it. They don't want to see it again. That's what the New England Patriots fans feel like. Now, we can't talk about Drake May the entire time, even though we should think about it. Sam Darnold, also former Minnesota Vikings quarterback. And obviously, everybody remembers his time in New York not going great. Well, with the Seattle Seahawks, this dude has become a guy for their entire organization. Remember, they're moving on. Jackson Smith and Jigba has like a bunch of records right now. He is absolutely crushing it. Him and Sam Darnold have crushed since the beginning. And Jigba, by the way, is a Sierra Leone name. I believe his grandfather came to the United States of America. If the story that we read online is accurate. And the American that took him in, basically, his last name was Smith. So his name is Jackson Smith and Jigba. And Jigba is his grandfather's name from Sierra Leone. And Smith is I forget the name. Do you remember the name?
Like sponsor
or whatever it was coming in there. That's it, because we looked it up. Because it's like such a cool name. It is. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a cool name. The story also awesome. His family story is incredible. And what he's doing with Darnold, outrageous. They just let him out of the building over there in Minnesota.
Yes, they did.
I wonder if they thought it was just going to be a one-hit wonder. Sam Darnold's all the way back, and McDonald loves him.
Yeah, he's all the way back. He is third in the NFL in passing yards behind Stafford and Dak. He is fifth in touchdowns. He's got 11 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And these balls that you're seeing, like to JSN and Cooper Kupp there, they are absolutely perfect. Like, there is nowhere else that you could throw these balls. He's on fire right now, leading this offense with JSN, with Cooper Kupp, with the tight end. Sam Darnold's playing really, really good football.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's in the MVP conversation. You know who else is here in Indianapolis? Danny Dimes. Now, Danny Dimes can run, and he can obviously spin it. That's why the Dimes name's out there. They're calling him Indiana Jones because he saved our state. But I'll tell you, whenever he's playing, he saved the Colts franchise as well. We're a very boring franchise. We had the capability of winning games, but it was going to be a grinded-out type game. We have the ability now to win any style of game. You know, if it's going to be a dogfight, we can do it. If it's going to be a shootout, for some reason, if our defense can't get stops, if our corners are maybe not able to be in the right place, if our corners are going to get knocked out of the game before the game even starts while doing a warm-up, a pretty huge signing for us, doesn't even make it to game time because there's a miscommunication in warm-ups and he ends up getting a concussion before the game even starts. There's like a chance that maybe our defense isn't going to be able to get a stop. We were able to win. Now, this is a sad moment.
It can't happen.
Boom, bang,
Jesus.
Ogletree, shoulder, Mooney's head, concussion. 11:50 a.m., obviously game kickoff at 1. D-Bone and my mom were already at the game in the suite that we have. They sent a text of just people gathered around somebody, had no idea if somebody maybe fell, heard it was a concussion, wondered if maybe some of football was punted and hit him in the head, because in those pre-workout, there is like kind of a rules of engagement on how it all goes, which I think is what a lot of people are questioning with Charvarius Ward and Ogletree's situation. There is kind of like a unwritten rules on how the pre-warm-up kind of works.
Yeah, you usually probably the first one out there, first or second one out there with you and the kickers. But for us, you know, we go out there depending on home or away. Like, where do you warm up? Who do you warm up with? But you got to be aware of where kind of other people are on the field. You see, you know, you got the fourth down army, snap, holder, and kicker. But as far as the coaches even throwing these, it was Ogletree and Ward. So the coaches, you see the coaches were 30-yard line
Like on
they
the
be on. So
30,
20.
but yeah, so both on the 30-yard line, basically going in, and they're throwing the ball. So I think them and the actual players warming up got to be on the same page to make sure you're not going out while I'm going in. You can't have something like this happen to any player, let alone your big-time offseason $20 million a year cornerback.
And on that note, I'm surprised more injuries don't happen in these situations. Just after seeing it, I was like, man, I don't know why I didn't ever think that this could possibly happen. I mean, I almost sniped Tim Tebow from like 75 yards away. That would have been
Those are the toughest ones.
The punts?
Yeah, when you got punts coming from
and returners.
Yeah, kicks. But when you're throwing the ball, like we all remember the pregame with was it Tucker or Bucker?
Travis.
And Travis.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of aware of who's warming up where. So you got to be aware, obviously, where your ball. And you have more control of the ball that's being thrown than the ball that's being kicked. But that shit can't happen. Then the Anthony Richardson thing alone, like I'm like, what the? Before all of some details came out, you're like, what the hell is going on with the Colts pregame warm up? But with all that being said,
I think the Anthony Richardson, I think he was using a band, and then something. I think the band pulled something. Like from because band, you immediately think. I had a friend whenever I was growing up playing soccer. I was a teenager. He was getting band work in. Thing snapped, came back, hit him in ripped his hamstring.
Oh, shit!
The metal thing came and hit him. He had to get surgery. He was out. He was a very good player too. Like I know I was 14 years old. I think it was the very beginning of band. Treatments, I think, what happened. I had no idea teenagers were using them. And he's like, yeah, he's out or whatever. What happened? Band snapped over his hamstring. It's like, oh my God, that's scary as hell. I'm a big band user guy, but there is always a fear that the band's going to snap and you're going to get one.
Yeah.
So I thought that was immediately what it is. I guess that wasn't the case. I guess there's potentially something, I don't know. Orbital bone, I mean, he was in the hospital.
Not
good.
Scary. I mean, that's
very
not good. Shavarius Ward, and then Marvin Harrison Jr., his head smacked off the turf really hard. He got taken in to the and then there was a special teamer. I don't know his name. I should know his name for the Arizona Cardinals. He got carted off with a neck. He had a neck incident. They took the face mask off the helmet. He was kind of he was strapped down to the cart, and they took him off, and it was like, damn, that looks very, very scary. I guess they released him from the hospital. He flew back with the team. But yesterday, there was a lot happening at that Indianapolis Colts game. And on that note, Colts were able to get a win. There's a lot going on, able to get a win. That Arizona Cardinals team, Jacoby was spinning it, man. Jacoby was spinning it, absolutely. But Danny Dimes gets it done. Also, Patrick Mahomes, he's come back into the scene and said, oh, yeah, you forgot about me. You have forgot about me. The Kansas City Chiefs offense has obviously looked much better over the past few weeks than it had for maybe a year and a half or so. And I think if you listen to the Kansas City Chiefs people, or people talk about what the Kansas City Chiefs are saying, they feel better about their team now at this point of the season than they did last year. And last year, they got to the Super Bowl. They got Rashee Rice coming back. Okay, so they still got the little trick 'em, slick 'em type operation. Patrick Mahomes is doing Patrick Mahomes stuff, but they got another weapon coming back who's very fast and very tough to get. So if you think about what Worthy's been able to do, and Travis Kelce seemingly back to being Travis Kelce. Yep. Pacheco running this thing. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's in the middle of some stuff, I guess, after the game. Obviously, with Brian Branch, that was a wild scene. I don't think any of us could have expected that. But if you think about where this Chiefs team is headed, it's like Patrick Mahomes' MVP conversations are about 4 or 5 weeks away from being full-throated, brother. I mean, that is going to be coming around the corner.
Yeah, they're coming, and they're coming big time, because a lot of the talk, at least on the internet around Mahomes, is this guy's a baby. All he does is bait people and then pout to the refs. Mahomes is getting blasted week in and week out, and under his own volition. He's running and seeking out contact. So if you were thinking that Mahomes maybe thought everything was too sweet, no, he just I think they kind of reminded everybody last night, hey, we're not dead. We can hit that next gear when we need to. And yeah, I mean, once they actually get fully healthy here, look out for the Chiefs and Mahomes too, because he's heard everything everyone's saying.
And this is not a good thing, but he also leads the team in rushing as well.
Yeah, and the rushing goes back to Ty's point. He took 3 shots to the back on one play last night, right at the first down marker, and he just kept going and then gets right up, takes a big time shot, gets up. I think Hutch hit him late.
Yeah.
Hutch hit him late. He got right back up. It's Patrick Mahomes has a lot of dog in him. I think he's reminding everybody, shit is sweet. I own a soccer team. I own
part of the Royals.
Team. I own a baseball team. My resume's already a go conversation. I'm a dog, though, who still drinks Coors Lights, and it feels like they're getting better and better. The Lions, are you guys completely out on yourselves after losing that game?
No, everything's A-okay. That was more about the Chiefs than the Lions. We'll bounce back next week.
Well, what about Brian Branch afterwards? That doesn't feel like an MCDC.
No, and that's really funny you bring that up, because everyone's calling Brian Branch selfish, but I really think what he was doing was a favor to everyone that's ever wanted to smack Juju in the mouth.
Okay.
We should be thanking Brian Branch.
sports.
You know
What's
what?
so funny, D-Butt?
Yeah.
What's so funny, D-Butt?
I didn't expect that.
said.
Let's go.
Fox, me
Thank
either.
you, Brian.
Yep. Thank you, Brian.
Love you, Brian.
Now, on that note,
I'm just trying to be nice.
MCDC came out and said, this ain't us, man. This will be. We don't cheap shot people. Juju going, yeah, what up? Screaming at the sideline. And, what up, Branch? How you doing, man? I just got a pretty good block on you about 3 minutes ago. You saw, bang, yeah. Boom. So Branch came out and said there was a member, he's blindside, and there was a block. Whatever the case, this is not good for ball, especially with two of our best teams.
That can't happen right there.
All of this can't happen. You know, what's that? Getting tossed on your back?
Yeah, I mean, look, what Brian Branch, obviously that can't happen.
He pulled his ears too when he was on
That's
the ground?
Bush League, but if you're Juju and you decide, he was kind of in the moment there, do I lay here on the ground? I don't know, I got to get up. Game's over, I'm not getting the flag. So he came and attacked him, but you already have a teammate on him. You then can't get manhandled by Brian Branch with one arm when you're coming. So that's a bad look for Juju. He was bleeding. It was rough for him. So it wasn't good. And you don't want, this is a black eye for the NFL in general. So Dan Campbell, I'm sure he addressed it with Brian Branch before he went and spoke to the media as well. But I'll be interested to see how they handle this with Brian Branch, because he is kind of in that Draymond Green kind of category when it comes to being fined, having different things going between and after the whistle. So I hope they don't suspend him, but we'll see. I'm sure at least a hefty fine, maybe even a suspension.
I agree. There's probably going to be a lot, because the NFL cannot have this happen. I mean, fights after games used to happen back in the play. Look at the camera people.
Yeah.
Camera people.
Yeah.
Incredible work getting out of there. Honestly, that's an ACL to a camera person.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's big bodies going in there. Patrick Mahomes ends up in the bottom of this pile, which once again goes back to us loving Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he's willing to jump in the bottom of this pile. Don't love that this fight is happening. Ref's already gone. Game's over. We're out of here. This game's over. We're reffing for 60 minutes. You guys handle your shit. Security gets in there. Coaches get in there. It was full mayhem. These are two of our best teams. Obviously, it's very emotional. It's a physical sport. It's a tough sport. And then the fireworks go off and say, hey, we get a big-time win. Number 2 storyline is the Chiefs is still the Chiefs.
Yep.
And the number 1 storyline is the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. Okay, so that is all you need. Boom, bang. And Jonathan Taylor, this guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know we got him in the first round. He might be worth a couple now. He might be worth a couple.
He ain't going nowhere.
He might be worth a couple of those right now. This guy's
franchise great.
He's
exceptional.
Bro, he is unbelievable. His celebration is sick. I got people mocking it from the other team. He's seemingly untackleable. The offensive line's all over the place.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes put him in the right positions. In our defense, yesterday couldn't get a damn stop. Okay?
Well,
Once again, one of our guys got taken out before the game even started.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big piece. Literally, we find out an hour and 10 minutes before the game he's not able to play. Why? What happened? Is he hope he's okay? So I'm saying, well, he actually just got hit by Ogletree in the shoulder.
Ate an elbow.
What do you mean? Concussed? Yeah, out.
It was bad.
Where? It was on who?
You were around like the 35-yard line out there.
Looked like
Boom, it's over.
too.
So whenever that happens right before the game, obviously it's not easy. The Colts get a huge win, and obviously we need to go going forward, need that not happen. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might have more information on that and everything else that happened around the NFL. Senior NFL insider for ESPN, Michigan man, ladies and gentlemen, tough one against USC, Adam Schefter.
Hi, guys.
Shefty, sorry we made you wait there. Had to get to the bottom of everything. The Ward injury, I am a pre-warm-up person because I'm a punter. Punters and kickers are out there a lot. I'm surprised that more injuries don't happen legit after watching this, but it is kind of organized chaos usually. What is the update here? We assume he'll be back, or is just protocol going to do what the protocol is going to do?
Well, he's in protocol now, and typically when you miss one game, there's a real chance you miss another one, so that collision could cost him 2 games there. He went down, stayed down. I mean, that's scary when you see something like that happen. And to see him inactive before the game like that, I don't recall a team losing a player in pregame warmups, no less 2 players to significant injuries. Obviously, Ward had the concussion there, and Anthony Richardson fractured his orbital bone, stretching with a band of some sort. So I don't know whether he was stretching his hamstring or his shoulder or his arm, whatever it was, snapped back and fractured his orbital bone. So he's going to miss time now, too. So that's crazy pregame warmups, and I always think that those are signs of things to come. And, of course, Colts had a tough time with the Cardinals, but they prevailed in the end and played well enough to win.
Okay, yes, they did prevail. Yeah, okay, and maybe we do have the worst optics for a stadium whenever that roof and windows open for a 1 o'clock game in October. But I want to let you know, whenever you're in there, it feels so cool. It feels so cool.
Yeah.
There's a nice little breeze every once in a while that comes out of the sky. The football gods bless you a little bit. But I could see how on TV it would stink. And also, I assume the camera people do not love having to adjust this every single quarter as they go forward. But nonetheless, it was rocking in Indianapolis.